we're tending to build the houses to the minimum new standard. Now, New Jersey has an extra 1 foot to that, but there's a tendency, because at least in 3-story houses, they're being forced to stay at the similar height limit. It has moved up to the new BFE, but it's keeping people at the minimum rather than getting more out of the flood areas. Now, one could give up some economic value and make a smaller house, say a 2-story or 2.5-story house, to gain that extra height to get out higher above the BFE. But it seems to me that the forces in play with some of the municipal laws are tamping down from above and sort of keeping people at this minimum. It might be best not to take away the economic value, if you're still continuing to let people build, to take away from the economic value by making a smaller house than they originally had anticipated when they bought the lot, and be allowed to build a full story up from the ground so that they can park underneath, and in tandem with that, decrease the impervious surface. That means increase the pervious surface, and that's going to be done by not allowing as much concrete, parking underneath now, because we've raised the house up a full 8 to 10 feet, what's necessary for a garage or a parking space. Particularly, say, in Brigantine, this tamping down has tended to cause a sort of a 5-foot elevated crawl space, you might say, which is not quite human scale. Obviously, there are some 5-foot people that can walk under there, but many can just only throw their rusty bikes under there and sort of walk around a little bent over. It may need to go up that couple 2 to 3 feet higher, and then also flooding starts after about 10 minutes in Brigantine, and we could decrease the impervious surface because now we're parking underneath, and we could allow, you can cover it with gravel, you can cover it with shells, but also what they allow, say, in West Cape May, is a certain kind of geodetic material. It's basically crisscross plastic that allows grass to go through, and 98% pervious, which actually wasn't really allowed in Brigantine, for instance. It was considered impervious, that material. Now, I'm not necessarily saying pervious. There are supposedly pervious covers which can get clogged up, so I'm not talking about them. But there are some new materials. We just have to address the new technologies and really address these issues in a really long-term way, much longer than I think people are even considering, even maybe FEMA's considering, because they're only going to be doing these maps, say, supposedly every 30 years. I imagine they can do it sooner if they do funding, but typically the last time they did it was about 30 years ago, I'm told. But we really need to address the new technologies and do what we can to alleviate flooding, and there may be put aside a little bit of nostalgia and address sort of our new situation we've found ourselves in.